Welcome to Pocket Chat number 8, sponsored by the joint Chicago Bar Association, Chicago Bar Foundation Task Force on the Sustainability of the Practice of Law and Innovation. I'm Mary Ann Mason. I'm co-chair of the task force. And my co-chair, Lynn Grayson, is doing some more of these chats. So you'll be seeing repeat performances from both of us. I have with me today Bob Glaves, who is the executive director of the Chicago Bar Foundation and the brain trust behind this entire task force. Bob has been with the Bar Foundation, what is it, Bob? 30 years?
Now, yes, 20 years. So,
and
once a practicing lawyer, Justice Mason. It's far afield right now, so I have to.
So, for those of you viewing this chat, Bob's normal attire on a weekday morning would be a Grateful Dead t-shirt. He has donned a collared shirt for this very important event, and we're grateful for that, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. It's a big sacrifice, but you know,
we're here today to talk about the task force recommendation number 8 in no particular order. To create an online hub as a resource for people looking for help with legal problems. How did that recommendation come to be, Bob?
Well, this is the one recommendation that didn't come from any one of our committees, but was made possible by the work of all of them. Because the problem that we're trying to address here is that people who run into a legal issue, or people who are trying to, in the community, trying to help somebody who have a legal issue, really have little idea where to turn for reliable legal information. So if it's a technology app or a website, is it a good site? Is it a good product? Who to turn to for help? And then ultimately how to find a lawyer when you're looking for a lawyer. I think we all assume a lot in the profession that people would know where to look, but they really don't. And there isn't any one place that will help you do that. We have some good resources out there if you're looking for free legal help, but if you need to hire a lawyer or if you're just trying to size up the reliability of general resources, there's really not a way to do that right now.
So we're talking about people who are not eligible for free legal services because there's all sorts of online resources in that community. And people who might be able to pay something, but really can't afford market rates for a lawyer. And there's nothing central for them right now to go to at least start the search for a lawyer. Is that right?
Right. There's Google, and that may or may not get you to the right place. But even if you get to Google, the idea of like if you find different things on there, so if you find, say, an app or you find a website, there's a lot of self-help products out there online now, or you want to go to somebody in your community to get some advice on where you might go for legal help. There really isn't any good way right now for anyone to be able to find this. So the model for this idea really surprisingly came from the IRS. The IRS at tax time, which for some people has just been recently because there was an extension this year. But if you're just a consumer who are looking for help doing your taxes, the IRS has this very nice hub on their site that starts with online free resources and moves up all the way to how to find a CPA if you have more extensive needs, and gives people a way to find options. And they do range from free to paid self-help options, and then ways to actually get help from a professional. And it's one-stop shopping. They can kind of size up right there, what their options are and where they can find reliable help depending on which option they want to pursue. So that's what we're really trying to do here.
So right now, if I understand what you're saying correctly, the legal profession is worse than the IRS in terms of providing resources for people in need of our services.
Unfortunately, I believe that is the case. Certainly in terms of transparency and ease of finding it, yes.
Wow, that's something. So what is the solution that this recommendation describes?
Well, what it will do is, so there's three other committees that will have each will have their own pocket chat, but three other recommendations that the task force came up with. The first is for an approved legal technology provider that will, give a chance for technology options to be registered with the Supreme Court and meeting certain standards, and to be registered, that the public would be able to see a list of who those are that have been registered and cleared by the court. We also have a concept called a Community Justice Navigator, which could be a librarian, it could be somebody in a government office, somebody in a community organization who will have some training about how to help people find legal help. So you could find a list of these Community Justice Navigators in your own community where you might be able to go to talk to somebody for help. And then finally, we have something we're calling an intermediary entity, but basically this could be a bar association lawyer referral service. It could be a company like LegalZoom. It could be any particular entity that is helping connect people to legal services, to help connect them to lawyers. Will be able to be registered and again, meeting some minimum standards, be registered with the court. So right now, we don't have any of those options available. So if we were to do this resource site, we would be making up our own standards for what we would allow to be on it. But by virtue of these other recommendations of the task force, we can now have, if you're looking at a technology option, you can see if it's something that has been registered and cleared by the court. If it's somebody in the community, you can see the same thing. And again, if you're looking for a lawyer, the intermediary that will connect you will also be something you could find on there. So you'll have your range of options. It doesn't mean there's not other ones beyond that that might be okay, but you would know that these have all agreed to meet some minimum standards and have some reliability to them. And the idea would be the Supreme Court would put it on their website, local courts could put it on their website, and it could get out into libraries and, just more general information where people will have a hub where they can go that will tell them these are some options you can use.
So ultimately, any person or entity that is listed on the hub would have been vetted ahead of time to make sure that they meet minimum standards, and probably those standards would be set by the Illinois Supreme Court, correct?
Correct, right. They'll be each would have their own set of regulations as to what you need to do, whether it's training or things that you certify you're going to do, or just a way to be able to know what's legitimate information. Because again, I think over the years we've sort of just assumed people don't get legal help because they can't afford it or decide they don't want it. What studies have shown is a lot of times people don't even realize they have a legal issue, but once they do, they don't have a good idea of where to go for reliable legal help. So almost everybody will start with word of mouth, and if a friend knows somebody, which may or may not be a good recommendation, by the way, but the next thing they'll do is go on the internet. And right now, it's sort of like there's not it's almost a free-for-all out there right now as to what would be good information or not good information. This, again, the combined work of the task force gives us the opportunity to create this hub of vetted services that would be available to the public and will be a really good resource for them. And it will actually be good for lawyers as well, because it'll help connect people to legitimate lawyers and legitimate services.
So hopefully, once the hub is up and running, when someone puts in some legal issue on Google, the hub is going to pop up first.
That would be great if we could make that happen. Yes, that may be beyond the scope of what we can do as a task force, but that would be an ideal scenario that people would be able to start there, and that would have free resources too. We could combine in the free resources. So
right,
that'd be great.
We'll have to work on that.
Right.
Well, this sounds like a terrific idea. Great for lawyers, great for consumers, and I look forward to seeing it come to fruition. And I want to thank you for talking about this recommendation and explaining it. And for anyone watching this Pocket Chat, I want to encourage you to visit the Chicago Bar Foundation website at chicagobarfoundation.org. There you can see the entire task force report. You can see other pocket chats regarding other recommendations by the task force. And you have the opportunity during the public comment period that's coming up to give us feedback on those recommendations. And we would really like to hear from you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.